Unhinged Podcast, where the truth is poured straight. This is Lana Joy. I'm Lana Joy, and I want to welcome you to episode 3 of the Unhinged Podcast, where we pour the truth straight. And today I'm so excited. I have a very special guest, and I will let you guys know that my stepdaughter, Veda Hope, is joining us today. And we don't really have a topic. We're just going to go completely unhinged. So if you ever want to know what a mother and daughter look like when they refuse to be silent anymore, that's us.
It's me.
It's you. You look so pretty.
Oh man,
I love you. All right, so let's kind of give everybody some background. Okay. So your parents got divorced.
Yes.
I came into your life when you were 6, and in your words, I raised you.
Yes.
And so now, unfortunately, there were some choices made not by you. And I am now playing the role of mother and father to you because I am the only parent.
Yeah.
And, we hold a special place with each other because you and I have, we've been through some shit.
We've been in the trenches together. We've been in the trenches.
We've been through the trenches. So here's my next question. Did you mix yourself a cocktail for this one?
I did. Awesome. You actually saw me mix it, so
I did. I just had to check and make sure. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start with your mom and the divorce. Can I start there?
Sure.
I'm going to be gentle.
Right.
Your mom and dad got a divorce. You were going back and forth, regular custody bullshit, 50-50 back and forth, right? Mm-hmm. But as you know, the divorce attorney said something that really stuck with me when he spoke about your mom. And he said she's going to do one of two things. She's either going to step up and be a mom or she became a party girl. Do you want to tell our viewers where she went?
Instant party girl.
Instant party girl. And so you became a parent to your mom.
I did.
Tell me all the adult problems your mom laid on you.
I mean, big one was money, rent, groceries.
You better type her a message. Hold on. It looks like we're having technical difficulties because I can't hear. She was just there. Hold on, everybody. Take a sip of your cocktail. We'll be back soon.
Can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay.
Your mic left for a little while.
Oh.
All right, so let's go back. So my question was, what kind of adult responsibilities got dumped on you at an early age?
Big one was money, rent, groceries, extra stuff, laundromat money. Definitely gave my mom.
She borrowed that.
Definitely
she borrowed that from you, didn't she?
A lot of quarters were given to my mom for laundry money.
I remember that. And then as you got older, she went pretty hard and heavy on the dating apps.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think every week there was I'm going to the bar to meet this guy. I'll be back at 11. And then, of course, me, the worry daughter, wouldn't go to sleep. And I'd be like, oh, it's 11. She's not home yet. Let me call her real quick. Oh, I'll be back in an hour or so. An hour goes by. She's not home. I'm like, crap. Is she getting kidnapped? Something happened.
Well, and you knew she was going to the bar, so you knew she had been drinking too.
Yeah. And I would hear the door open, and then I would instantly pretend to fall asleep. And I would hear my door open, and then I would know she was home.
How many times do you think she brought strange men into your home when you were there?
I don't even think I could count how many times that happened.
And how did that make you feel?
It definitely showed me a bad perception of love and being with men a lot. Like
Yeah.
constant men in and out of my life. Oh, he's the one, breaks up the next week. The next one's the one. It's the one beta, breaks up again. And it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just like the in and out all the time just really did not set a good tone for love for me growing up, especially.
Especially. So I'm going to you're going to send a message real quick. So to all the single moms out there who are dating with children living in their home, what is your best advice to give them so that their children don't suffer the way you did?
Keep it private. As much as possible, keep it private till you're absolutely sure that's the one you're going to be spending a long time with or the rest of your life with. Like, if you had been dating this guy for a month and then you wanted him to meet your kids, no. Unless you know he's the one. Okay, I can't even say that.
I was going to say, you can't even say
that. But, you know, you have to, like, definitely protect your kids from that. Because for me, I met a bunch of men throughout my entire life because my mom
and sometimes they're kids.
Absolutely. And then I remember one time she was dating, it was a high school guy that she known. Dated him for 2 weeks. Then they took me to go look at houses they were going to go buy together.
See, that's too much adult.
That is too much adult. And I think that single moms should date. Like, don't get me wrong. You should. You don't have to be lonely. You don't have to date because of your children. Just keep it private from your children. Your children do not need to know the in and outs of your love life.
Absolutely, they do not. How many times was she on dating apps and she'd be like, oh, look at this one?
A lot.
Stupid.
Or, oh my gosh, he's so sweet. Look at this text he sent me. And I'm like, I'm 10 years old, Mom. I don't want to be seeing this.
That's important. Did y'all hear the age that she was 10? So ladies, and I think part of that is I'm going to bash on single moms. And now y'all remember, I'm a single mom now. So I think a lot of ladies do this. Their children, especially their daughters, become their best friend. They're not your best friend. They're your kid. They are going to behave in their adult life how you show them. And that wasn't so people don't get the wrong assumption. She did not take after her mama in the dating category.
I did not.
At all. So, and she has met the love of her life and I love him and they are doing wonderful, but she did not. But I often wonder, I'm going to throw a good one at you. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you still would have not fell into following the example she led if I was not in your life?
I think I don't even know where I would be if you weren't in my life in any sort of aspect, because you were the one that was the mature one and showed me the right way to do things. And then the two other fuckers were like, this is what not to do in life. Don't do this. They were showing me what not to do in life.
Absolutely.
And if I probably didn't have you, I'd probably be doing all those things because that's what my parents did. So I don't know.
I agree with that. I think you would be in a much different place than where you are today.
Mm-hmm.
So you continued to go back and forth with your mom. I'm trying to remember. Were you driving? Oh, I think we lost volume again on her, Derek. Beta, can I? Okay. So how old, you were still going back and forth. How old do you think you were when you finally told your mom, because she moved like an hour and a half away? Mm-hmm. What age were you when you were said, Mom, I don't want to come back and forth anymore?
16.
So at 16, you and your mom pretty much just parted ways.
Yeah. And then every once in a while I would go, and then that stopped abruptly because of certain reasons.
Yes.
But it was 15 when we served her with the court order that I wasn't going to go live with her anymore because I couldn't live there anymore. It just was a toxic environment for me. It wasn't healthy. I didn't have a good role model. And I guess she was probably going through her own things, but she needed to go through her own things by herself and not have her kid there.
Exactly. Do you remember the conversation when you told me you wanted to come live with us full time?
I think you were relieved
But do you remember where it took place?
in the car.
Do you remember which car?
Was it the Lexus?
Yeah. In the
Yeah.
garage.
Yeah, in the garage.
Now, I'm going to let you in on a little insight that I didn't let you into that day. So, yes, I was relieved because I could see how much being over there was damaging you. It was hurting you and affecting you in every way, schoolwork, your mood, your attitude. Because some days you would just be a little bitch, especially to me.
Yes.
And I called, I called the self-proclaimed master manipulator. I said, you need to come home. Your daughter has something very important to tell you. And he was like, what the fuck do I need to come home for? Why can't y'all just tell me on the phone? And I was like, because this is like one of the most important conversations that's ever going to take place in this home. And basically, I had to beg him to come home. And then truthfully, he acted like it was no big deal that you wanted to come live with us.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. I mean, I was excited. I wanted to have you there full time. And so you probably don't know this. I am the one that went and started that whole court process to get you to come live with us.
Yeah. I was really like, I let y'all deal with that. I wasn't really into being in that at all.
Now, hold on. Let's back up because you know how I feel about the family court system. It sucks. It's criminal. It's a money grab. And I hate the family court system. But you had to go sit with a family court lawyer.
Yeah, I had to go sit with the judge. And then I had a social worker there with me in the room.
And you told them that you did not feel safe at your mother's home because of all the strange men, correct?
Correct.
Let me repeat that. She told the family court she did not feel safe. And what did they do? They put you right back in that environment.
It was definitely the social worker that was pushing for me to make amends with my mom and trying to make it work out. I think the judge was mostly on my side, but the caseworker, the social worker, was definitely pushing me to, that's your mom, you shouldn't do that, she loves you. And then they put us in family therapy.
Oh, that was fun, wasn't it? All four of us in the same room.
Oh, God, I about had a brain aneurysm when I walked in that
How
room.
many people do you think saw the nuclear cloud that was coming from that?
It was so, I just sat there and I was just like, oh my God.
Let me tell people how fucked up and how dysfunctional this situation was. We went maybe like 4 times.
And it's not.
And that man sat and looked at all 4 of us and said, there is absolutely nothing I can do for y'all.
Yeah.
That's what that man said.
It was bad.
So then you came to live with us full time.
Mm-hmm.
Then life was going pretty good. And then in 22, the self-proclaimed master manipulator flipped a fucking switch. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I wasn't good enough to be his wife anymore. And you were 17 at that time. And it posed a problem because as a step parent, again, family court, if I would have went into family court, I would have lost you forever. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not considered a parent.
Yeah.
And this is where things got ugly. And, but like, and you know, when your dad, when self-proclaimed master manipulator, because he does not deserve the title of dad. When he announced that I couldn't be his wife anymore, we held that information from you for what?
I don't even
probably
know.
6. Were you still in school when we told you?
It was the last day of my junior year. I was going into summer.
So for like 60 days, and you could tell something was up. And finally, he was like, "Well, you just need to sit down and tell her." And because everybody needs to realize that our family was an image. We weren't a family. We were an image. We were publicly known. He was known publicly. So we spent a lot of time out and about amongst people. And the more I think about it, the more I see how intentional it was, because right before that time, he really built our family up, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. It was more like a business.
he built it up so much that I remember you posting on your Instagram a picture of me and the self-proclaimed master manipulator, and you wrote couple goals underneath it. Everybody thought we were the perfect family. We looked perfect in every aspect, everywhere we went. And he built that. You and I thought we were living this perfect family life, right?
Right.
How did it feel when that image crushed in front of you?
I freaked out because y'all were the two people that if they could make it, then I can find somebody that I could be like that with. Because of course my mom didn't give me a good image to look up to. So then when y'all two separated and told me, I was so devastated. And then that after that point, that's when the signs of what he was doing started showing.
You can say the word. You can say the A word. That's when the abuse started showing.
Yeah, the abuse.
I know it's hard, but you can say it.
And then I started realizing a lot of parts of my childhood, it also was abuse. It also wasn't normal. And that's because we were painted this picture of this perfect life where you have all this material things, you have a great house, I drive a great car, all this stuff. I'd take you to nice restaurants. And people would be like, oh, you live such a great life. And I'm like, you have absolutely no idea what is going behind this closed door right now.
Yeah, you had to hide it for a long time, didn't you?
Absolutely. I couldn't tell anybody.
Oh, no, because you got the lecture pretty much every day.
Mm-hmm. Don't be telling people my business. No, you can't tell anybody. Of course, I did tell some of my friends because that was so traumatic for me to hear that news. Of course, I told my friends because I was like, what in the world?
And so self-proclaimed master manipulator and I still lived like as a couple in the home for another year. And then it really started falling apart. I want you to take the time frame of 22 to current, and I want you to tell me what was the thing that affected you the most during that time period? What experience? It's either words, what you saw, the action. Tell me what is you still think about to this day.
Oh, I think about everything, but the women stuff, the women bashing definitely was a thing because he would always be like, you need to have a career. And then on the other hand, he'd be like, you need to be a wife. You need to submit to your husband. You need to do all this. And then the women bashing and telling me I was only good for cleaning, cooking, and fucking. That's what I was only good for as a woman.
Yeah, that breaks my heart.
And hearing that as a daughter, I was just like, but you want me to have a career at the same time. And it's just like he was a ticking time bomb that could go off at any moment. There would be like a good week. And after that good week, I knew it's going to be 2 bad weeks after that. And at that point, we were having conversations in secret, basically. That still affects me. The fact that we would be talking, we would hear his truck pull up, and I would immediately run to my room because the last thing we needed was to get caught by him. And then we probably would have gone yelled at. We probably would have gone lectured. Oh, you're talking bad about me. I had microphones in the house. I can hear you.
Which is a lie.
He couldn't have held his composure for that long.
You and I know it's a lie because of conversations that went on when he wasn't home. He could have never held that shit in. Mm-hmm. Because we talked some I'm not going to lie. We talked some fucking dirt.
We were the hate
because
club.
It was dirty. So his mood swings.
Absolutely.
How did you handle those?
I didn't. At that point, when he was good, I kept the good with me because when the good was good, it was good. When he was good. Okay, I keep saying good. But when he was bad, I just kind of distanced myself because I didn't want to deal with that. I didn't want to get called every name in the book. I didn't want to get called nothing. Belittling me every second he got. I didn't want to deal with that. So I'd hide in my room. I would never leave my room.
That's true. I would go a whole day, and if I wanted to see you, I would have to come in your room.
Because I would not leave my room if he was in the house.
But he had to be gone for me to come into your room, or it was an interrogation. Mm-hmm. And then it got to the point, and this breaks my heart that I had to do this, where if his back was, like if you were coming towards us and if he couldn't see me and he couldn't see you, I would literally do this to let you know, hey, this is one of those one more motherfucker days and he's going to lose his fucking mind. And you would literally turn around and go back to your room.
I'd be like, yep, nope, not today. Not today, Satan. Not today.
And that is one of the most heartbreaking things, because I literally had to train you on how to deal with him, how to deal with his moods, how to keep the interrogations from going on for hours and hours, because that was all about poke, 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 get a reaction, and then he's going to act calm as shit. And you and I felt like we were fucking crazy. And if someone would have seen us at that point, they would have thought we were crazy, because we had lost our shit, screaming, yelling, sometimes throwing things. Yeah. I mean, we lost our shit.
And that's just because of the mental torture that he put us through, he was conditioning us to be a certain way. And that still affects me to this day. I am so, especially in my marriage, it affects me so much because I'm not living up to the perfect woman that I'm supposed to be, that he would tell me I had to be. And that still affects me. Sometimes I don't get the laundry done that day. Oh my God, I'm a terrible wife.
Yep. And now I'm going to take some accountability right here. And some of that comes from me, because I was so terrified of not getting every little thing done and having to suffer the consequence, that you were watching me panic if laundry wasn't done. You were watching me panic if dinner wasn't on the table at times. Like, you watched me panic. So I'm responsible for some of that conditioning with you, because it looked normal, and it was so absolutely abnormal.
You made that house so clean it looked unlived in.
I know. I made it so fucking clean. Your friends didn't even want to come over because they didn't feel comfortable in it.
Didn't feel like a home. It was just a house.
It was a house.
It wasn't a home. It was a house.
I kept that motherfucker spotless, though.
You did. One speck less, though, and bombs away.
I would be like, Veda, why don't your friends come over? And you'd be like, Lana, the house is too clean. They're not comfortable.
You're like, what is this? You could perform surgery in the living room. It's that clean.
Oh, I don't understand that one. So let me go back to, so I'm going to put a time frame on this for the people. In 22, to the point to when he moved me out of the home in 25, the mental abuse that I suffered was horrendous. Now, he had slowly taken control of my mind throughout, but that last 3 years was horrible. And something that sticks with me, and this is probably going to affect some listeners when they hear this, was the fact that I was so conditioned and he had so much mental control over me, that for me to realize it was abuse, it took one day where you stopped me in the living room and you literally looked me in the eye and you said, Lana, you realize that is nothing but abuse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now, as a parent, I feel like a failure that I couldn't see it, but I also know that I was so mentally ill at that point that I couldn't see what was being done.
I know, and I'd be like, oh, I can't wait till her rose-colored glasses come off. I can't wait, because I could see it, but you couldn't, and I just kept being like, oh my God, like, she's never going to get out of this. And then when I told you, they finally came off, and the realization of, oh my God, this isn't okay, I was so relieved, because I was like, oh my God, she's finally going to get out. Because if I hadn't told you that, you probably would have stayed in so much longer, because he had total control.
He had total control of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So let's give people an example of the mind control he had over you and I both. The difference was you were still getting out of the house and you were still going places and doing things. So were you comfortable bringing like Chick-fil-A into the house?
No.
And why is that?
Because I would get fat shamed.
And because if he didn't eat it or like it,
We weren't allowed to eat it.
we weren't allowed to eat it or like it. It wasn't allowed to be in the house. And so everything he, so they're like, he didn't watch sports. So you and I had this conversation on Sunday. We were like, we don't even know if we like the Super Bowl because we don't know if we really don't like sports or if we were told we didn't like sports.
Right.
So you and I both are having to discover, we both lost identity being in that house.
Yeah.
So, and I did get out. I got out the first time in 23, correct?
Yes.
I packed my shit. You were out of town. He was out of town. I packed my shit and I left.
Mm-hmm.
How long did I stay gone, baby?
Like a week, maybe.
No, it wasn't even that long.
4 days.
Yeah, 4 days. Do you remember why I came back?
Because of me.
Absolutely. What kind of woman would I be if I left you in that home to endure the abuse by yourself? I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. And it was funny too because the night that I remember because I knew about it.
Right.
And he didn't know. And I had to go pick him up from the airport. And he is just now finding out. And I'm just like trying not to cry because I'm like, oh, I know it's going to get bad. I know it's going to be bad. And he just pretended like nothing was wrong the whole car ride home. And then he sat me down at home. He's like, Lana's gone. And all this stuff, and had to act like I had no idea about it. Because if he knew I knew, I would have been fucked. I would not be okay.
Sorry about that,
Okay.
kid. But do you remember also? And I want to go ahead and put it out. If the listeners have any questions, y'all ask because we are open books. I don't think there's anything at this point that could really trigger either one of us, is there? I think we're pretty fucking wide open.
Yeah.
And so, it's. Do you see who that is?
Aaron.
We love you too. So 23, I came back and I'm going to fast forward to your engagement. Let's go ahead and get to the fucking nitty gritty right here. Talk about from your engagement to a wedding, how that shit went down.
I was bringing it up to him before because I knew he was going to propose. We had already planned it because he's in the military. So we had to it couldn't really be a surprise because we had to plan our life around the military.
Exactly.
And I was bringing it up and I was like, I think we're just going to do elope and all that. And he made me have a wedding. And I remember my husband now was scared shitless to ask my father. Because he was so scared he was going to say no because he knew how bad it was. Not everything, but he knew it was bad and that I wanted to get out. But my dad said yes. And because at that time he loved Colby. Oh.
That's okay. No one knows your last name. Y'all
no
ignore
one knows
that.
my last name. I didn't put my last name on here.
Your hubby. He loved your hubby.
But and then the wedding planning started, and that just went downhill instantly. It didn't even was good at the beginning. It was just bad from the start.
Do you remember he gave y'all X amount of dollars?
We had
this is what I'm going to give y'all to have your wedding. And then who took control of how that money was spent?
He did. Absolutely. And I thought I was going to get the $25,000 just to do whatever I want with it because it was my wedding. Nope. It was his wedding. It was his. According to him, it was his day too. That man wanted to wear white to my wedding.
Do you know how fucked up that is?
If anybody else was going to wear white, it was going to be my husband.
I mean, I think about that now. And you and I will go ahead and tell the listeners this. You and I can laugh about this shit now. At that moment in time living it wasn't funny, but now when I think he said, I'm going to get a custom white tux made so I can match her.
I was like, what in the world? And it was just So bad. And then picking the venue too. We had found this great venue.
You and I went and picked
Yes.
a great venue that would allow more guests. We were trying to find a place that budget wise, you could have more guests. And
No.
let's go ahead and tell the venue story.
We had to have the most expensive one out of the ones that I picked, and had to, because it was an image, I had to have the perfect wedding because his friends were going to go. It had to be perfect, and it had to be his way. And with the guest list, don't even get me started on the guest list for my wedding. I couldn't have even invited the people that I wanted.
Because you had to accommodate his list.
Yes. And he made me sound crazy because I was like, I don't want these people here. I don't really know them. Like, the friends that I've met before and that I've been around, okay, but you're inviting people that some of them I've never met in my entire life. I don't want to pay for them. But it was his day too, and he wanted his people there because my husband's side of the family, he didn't know.
Well, and let me it was his money. Even though he gave it to you, it was his money. It was, so the wedding turned into nothing more than a fucking weapon.
Yeah. And then before the wedding, this is what, because me and my husband actually did get married before a wedding. We eloped.
I know you did. Y'all went and eloped.
We were like, I don't care. Whatever. I'm doing it. So before that, it had just gone into a point with the wedding planning and the abuse. And we had one final fight that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And it was
now, I was not in the home at this. Like, there was no more me deflecting that shit to me taking it on the head so you didn't have to.
No, and it was about wedding planning. And he had a tripod up with a phone on it. I didn't know was recording at the time. And I didn't really talk throughout that entire ordeal until he made me talk, because I didn't want to add gas to the fire.
Well, and I trained you to say what?
Okay. And he was just poking me, and I just started crying because I'm just like, I don't know what to do. And at one point he's like, do you see that phone? And I was like, yeah, I see the phone. It's actually recording you right now, filming me at my most vulnerable state, crying my eyes out, scared out of my mind, telling me my now husband that he's going to send that video to show him what he's going to have to put up with in the future.
He said that to you because I heard I know what he said to you, and he actually said that to you. That came out of his mouth.
Mm-hmm. And he shoved the phone in my face. And at that point, I was just like, I'm sorry. Okay, whatever. And he was going back and forth from state to state, and I was home alone a lot. And after that, he was going to be gone for 2 weeks. And I was like, fuck this shit. I am leaving. I don't care. I called my mother-in-law now. She's like, I'm getting the room ready for you. Me and Lana will help you. And I moved everything in there in 5 days. I took all my stuff. I remember I dragged my mattress down the driveway so my father-in-law didn't step on his property. I dragged that mattress the whole way down because I didn't want him to be like, oh, trespassing.
Baby, it's not funny, but it is fucking funny. But now let me explain something, because people are probably going, well, I don't hear Lana helping. So when you called me and said, I got to fucking go, I can't be here anymore. Here was my response. I said, okay, I support you if you stay. I support you if you go. Mm-hmm. But you're a grown-ass woman. Make your own decision. But I had, as much as it hurt me to say this, the next words that came out of my mouth were, you can't come to me, because that will only make the situation worse. And as your mom, that broke my fucking heart. But at the time, I was still working for his company. Mm-hmm. You know, we got to get the last little bit of work out of me that we can. And you couldn't come to me. He would have made our life fucking miserable, more miserable than it already was.
Yeah.
And so, to your mother-in-law, who I love, I can never repay y'all enough for letting my baby come stay with you. But so you moved out. I'm gonna go ahead and put it out. You moved out in February.
Mm-hmm.
You were getting married in July. So we had 5 months to the wedding. But so let's talk about you called him and told him, I have moved out of your home, because he was coming home the next day.
Yes. And I remember I had to pick his girlfriend up from the airport prior to that. And I was like, I'm just going to let you know now, none of my shit's in the house anymore. I'm leaving. I would respect it if you didn't tell him. And she's like, I won't tell him. And I feel really bad for her, because deep down, I think she's a very nice woman. And this is just going to repeat the cycle of it's going to happen to her next. And she was like, well,
yes, it's rinse and repeat.
It's rinse and repeat. He's doing it to her next. And she was like, is there anything that we can do to repair it? Like, I don't want to see you like this. And I was like, no, there's absolutely nothing you can do. And I don't even know why she didn't see that as a red flag.
Yeah, that's a red flag flying across this whole damn state. But
his daughter's abruptly moving out.
Well, but now hold on, let me go back. He's a good storyteller. Mm-hmm. So you and I were already the abusers in his mind by this point. So there's no telling what the hell she thought. But yeah.
And
you called him.
I called him, and I was shaking. Yes. I was terrified of what was about to happen. I thought he was going to yell and scream at me. But it's even more sad because I wish he did yell and scream at me and fought for it. He just didn't care. He was like, okay, have a good life. You have to the end of the month to get new car insurance. You have a end of the month to get your own phone plan. I was like, okay, have a great life. Bye.
Now, hold on. You told him he was still invited to the wedding, and what was his response? See, this is going to irritate me. What the fuck did that man say to you? Do you remember?
Well, no, at that point, he said, yes, I'll still be at your wedding. Because we'll get to that.
Let me backtrack, because I remember, because it irritates the shit out of me. You told me that you said, I would hope that you would still come. You are still able to. I want you to still come to the wedding or something like that. Mm-hmm. And that man told you, well, I would fucking hope so, since I'm financing it.
Yeah.
Not that I want to see you get married. Not that I want to participate in your day.
Because I paid for it.
Motherfucker. So you moved out, and then you got married.
Well, wait, not even 3 days after I moved out.
That's right.
He said he was going to give me a month to change everything. Not even 3 days. Took me off car insurance, shut down my phone completely, and I had to go get it. I got a brand new phone number. Just out of nowhere, texted me that he's shutting it down. And I was like, I thought I had a month.
But do you know what cracks me up about that whole fucking statement you just said? So the man, self-proclaimed master manipulator, says, oh, well, I'll give you a month to get insurance, cell phone, blah, blah, blah. Well, I had already called the insurance agent, and I was like, look, if he comes in there and pulls her off the insurance, immediately add her to mine. But he did it within 72 hours, so he fucking lied. But who was the liars in the house, according to him?
Us.
Oh, yeah, we were the liars. We were the manipulators. We were the gaslighters. We were the fucking problem. Mm-mm. So let's fast forward to your wedding.
Right before the wedding, I remember I went to lunch or brunch with his adoptive parents, my grandpa and Nana. And I asked him, I was like, is he going to the wedding? And my grandpa was like, he's not.
Yeah,
his choice. And my grandpa was so mad at him. He was like, you're going to regret this for the rest of your life. And my dad didn't care. And he wasn't there. And honestly, it does suck that my own father didn't get to go to my wedding. But honestly, it made the day better. Because I know we would have had so much anxiety and so much pressure on us to be perfect that I don't even think I would have been able to let loose and have fun. And like we had fun like we did.
Oh, absolutely not. Because the minute you started getting tipsy, it would have been a problem. Oh, well, you're making an ass out of yourself. Da, da, da. You didn't make an ass out
Everybody
of
was
yourself.
tipsy at that wedding.
Everybody but me.
I know, you had to be the mom.
I had to be mom.
You had to be mom.
I had to be
Sorry,
mom.
you had to take care of everybody.
So I'm going to backtrack. So you found out not from him, but from his father that he was choosing not to come to your wedding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw this out there. Is that forgivable in your mind?
At this point, no, and because I'm still working on forgiving, but it's going to probably take me years until I forgive him for all the things that he did to me.
Yeah, well, but let's shed some light on the situation. So your dad is not going to be there to be father of the groom, walk you down the aisle.
Mm-hmm.
But who walked you down the aisle?
You did.
I did. And
it was so good.
It was the best. I will tell you right here in front of everybody listening, I would endure all of the abuse again, the physical, the mental, the financial, the emotional, to have that moment with you again over and over and over again.
Yeah, I remember.
It was the best. Now, when you have grandbabies, that one might go to number 2. When you give me grandbabies, that might go to number. But right now, that is what I endured all of that for.
Mm-hmm.
I endured that for you. But let's go back to the wedding, because everybody had a good. We got the wedding pictures in, and do you remember? We were like, everybody is so happy.
I know.
And if he would have been there, those pictures would have told a different story.
Absolutely. He probably would have. I know Nana and Grandpa probably wouldn't look so happy.
No.
And Grandpa Mark and Grandma Peggy would have not looked so happy either, because
they weren't happy anyway.
Anyways,
they were fucking pissed.
Oh, absolutely. And it just was a relief to see everybody so relaxed, and I was so scared too, because if he had gone, he probably would have acted like an ass the whole time in front of my now other side of the family, my husband's family.
Your family.
Yeah, and it's just they all don't like him, which is so funny.
Well, at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that the image is shattering, and I think there's a lot of people who are looking at him in a very different view. Yeah. But I will tell you one thing I noticed about the wedding pictures. If you look at me, I am not smiling. And I finally figured out why. I smiled once we got to the dance floor, but with you and I walking down the aisle, every one of those pictures, I'm not smiling. And if you look, my eyes are shifting in every picture because I was waiting on the next shoe to drop.
Yeah.
But once I got you to that aisle and I gently said, son-in-law, here she is. Please take care of her.
Yeah.
Then the next picture was me smiling. Before I ask this next question, because we're on the way, I'm going to go here. Was your mother at that wedding?
Yes, she was in the back row.
How did she get invited to the wedding?
Out of sympathy. I guess I felt bad, and and Phil wanted me to invite her.
Yes, the self-proclaimed master manipulator did this. He said, I would love for you to invite her, because how fucking awesome will that be to have both my ex-wives and my new girlfriend in the same room? What an asshole.
He wanted to just show us off like prize ponies. That was his thing. St. Swan literally walked us around like prize ponies. I know I slipped and I shouldn't have.
No, that's okay. Don't even worry about that. We're unhinged around here. We don't give a shit.
And I just knew if that would have happened, it wouldn't have not been good. He would have acted like an ass in that aspect.
I'm going to get your mom a little bit right here. Your mother. Number one, when she found out that the self-proclaimed master manipulator chose not to come to the wedding, can we talk about what she said?
She wanted to walk me down the aisle.
And I had a conversation with her, didn't I?
Yes.
And I asked her, what makes you think you are entitled enough to walk her down the aisle? And do you remember what her response was?
Because I'm her mother.
She didn't say mother, because there's a difference between a mother and a mom. She said,
I'm
because I am her mom. And you probably saw my head spin like the exorcist. And that was probably a nuclear cloud that you could see all the way across the United States. And that is one of the few times you were ever disappointed in me.
Yeah, that
I
just,
should have walked away.
yeah, I think everybody should just walk their own way and just went, okay, we're done. It just, she wanted to like jump back into a relationship so fast, but I had no contact with her for 6 years.
But
And
yet she was going to walk you down the aisle.
yeah, and I was like, respectfully and not respectfully, I don't want you to. You are not, you gave birth to me. You gave me life. I will give you that. You gave life to me, but at the end of the day, you did not raise me.
So I'm going to throw something out there that someone said to me the other day. I'm going to get your reaction. So, I go places and people are like, so tell me what you do. And so it leads to this. My stepdaughter and I suffered abuse. I stayed, I walked her down the aisle, got her off to her new life. And someone told me that me doing that didn't make me a mom. It just made me a good person. How do you feel about that?
It makes you both, because at the end of the day, somebody can give you life, but if they don't step up to be a mother, they don't have the role as mother. The role of mother is somebody who shows you right from wrong, good from bad, leads you in a direction that is good. Somebody who shows you what a role model should be.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
There's a difference. Here's my deal. Every mom is a mother,
Mhm.
but not every mother is a mom. And I'll reverse that for the fathers. Same thing. Not every father can be a dad. And in your instance, I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. You just got shit on in the parent department, kid.
They should have not reproduced. That's all.
You got shit on. I think my therapist said it best when she looked at you that day and she said, basically, you have been orphaned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it does like affect me because I see all, especially when I was growing up, seeing my friends with their parents and how they were. I was so jealous because I was like, oh, this is what parents are supposed to be like. And then I would go back to my house and I would be so depressed and just be like, why is my life like this? Why do I have to live like this? And it truly affected my mental state, and
yes,
just wasn't safe at all for both. And starting at a young age, I had not gone on a break till I moved out, till I was 20 years old. I finally got a break from everything.
Yeah, you carried it. And I'm going to tell you that, baby, I carry a heavy burden on that because I see the fallout and I see the things that you suffer from having to live in that environment, and to know that there was nothing I could do to protect us. Absolutely, that is the heaviest burden I will ever carry in my life. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to flip the script because you told me that actually you don't tell me, you repost these little TikToks and I'm like, fuck Veda. And you posted one that said, I carry a heavy burden because my mom didn't get the life she deserved.
Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, I really wanted you to get out, and we wanted to leave. It's just he trapped us in a way, money-wise, love-wise, every way known to mankind. And especially the big one was money, because in the state we were living in, we've had to leave it because we were so used to that life, and then we had to leave that life.
We were addicted. We were addicted to the materialistic, the affluent, the image. We were addicted to it all. I'll admit it.
Yeah, and that's how he showed his love. Basically, he bought our love. If he had yelled at us and screamed at us and called us every sort of name and just tore us down mentally, oh, I'm going to go take you on a shopping spree now. But then he would go take us on a shopping spree, and then after that make us feel bad for that shopping spree, even though it wasn't our idea.
What did you do for me to deserve that? What value did you bring to my day that you deserve that? Do you see what all I do for you?
Absolutely. And you're telling your 17-year-old daughter that, what am I supposed to give you? I'm your child.
Nothing
When
except love.
the only time your child's supposed to give you something is when you grow old and can't take care of yourself. That's when a child steps in and takes care of the parent.
Okay, you remember that when I turn about 80.
Yes.
You come get me, kid. Moving in with you.
If I had still contact with him, he would be in a full lockdown facility. The ones that tackle you if you try to walk out the door. That's where he would be.
Okay, I have to ask you this question because Derek's put it up twice, but my little gangster daughter has me on a roll. Now, since you're out, how do you feel?
A lot of relief, but now I'm in the grieving process of it all.
And what are you grieving?
I'm grieving. The sad thing is that sometimes I do miss him because he was my dad at the end of the day. But I'm like, at the end of it, he became a stranger to me. I didn't know him. He was a complete stranger. But I miss the dad that I had when I was younger.
Oh, we had the best times when you were younger. They were good.
But I think he was so good to me when I was younger. It was because I was so innocent and so pure, and children are easily controllable. Mm-hmm. Their whole life revolves around their parent. So it was so easy to control me. And then when I got to the ages of, okay, she's going to take control over her own life, that's when it turned into absolute North Korea.
And you just said the magic word. He lost control. Mm-hmm. And the wedding was the last little bit of control. And he lost his fucking shit. Mm-hmm. He turned into you and I have had this conversation about, I forgot my bougie toothpaste today. And so I've got dry mouth. So, see, and trauma brain, where was I going, my dear?
That happens to me all the time.
Jesus Lord. So, how does your hubby help you mentally?
I love my husband. I love him dearly.
I love him
too. He is the love of my life, but sometimes I think it's also really hard for a spouse whose significant other is going through something like this, because some days I feel like he doesn't know how to help. I have fully broken down because of it, and he just looks so helpless because I know he wants to fix it. And I know he wants to make me better, but there is nothing he can do to help me but just sit there and be with me. And I think that's really frustrating for him because he just wants to make me happy, which I am happy, but I'm dealing with the aftermath of being abused for so many years and just absolutely not having great parents like that. Like, I think the only reason I turned out pretty kind of good was because of you.
So for everybody out there, never underestimate a step parent. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we're the best option as a parent.
And I think he does his best, and I love him because sometimes he just doesn't understand. And I'm like, I know, and I'm like, I'm not upset with you. I know you don't understand because you haven't been through it.
Can I give you my version of that? He sees you as his wife, and he sees you as being perfect. He loves everything about you, and everything about you in his mind is absolutely perfect. Yeah. And when he sees a flaw, he doesn't know how to handle it. Yeah. It hurt because he wants you to be, and we all know no one can be perfect, but in his mind, you are perfect. And he has a hard time accepting that the image of you that's not perfect. Does that make sense? But that's out of love. It's not out of control. It's because he loved you.
Yeah. And a long time I actually tried to hide it from him because I didn't want him to see that side of me because
it's ugly.
It's ugly. And sometimes I'm like, I'm ashamed because I call them my little episodes because I'll just act out and just be so, because I'll bottle everything up and then I explode and I am just hysterical. And then I'll come out of it and I'm like, oh my God.
And you get that because we had to bottle it up because your emotions aren't my problem.
You
What
were
the
not,
fuck are you crying about?
you were not allowed to have feelings in that house.
You're just crying, trying to manipulate me, and you are just playing the fucking victim. And so,
But
of course, you bottle that shit up.
yeah, I'm not really good about talking about how I feel now. And
No.
I think that the Satan Spawn man definitely he had more to say about how he felt than we did most of the time.
Absolutely.
About how he felt,
It
even
was
though
all about him.
it was all about him. And it's really hard to go from that to such a calm man. I'm so used to an angry, chaotic, crazy man, and then my husband's just so calm. He's
I
so
love
calm.
him. I love him.
Like,
But you're having a hard time because I have a hard time with it too, because we were in a circle of chaos that was spinning so fucking fast. No one could see in and we couldn't see out. And we don't know how to handle calm. We don't know. We don't understand that. So sometimes you're right. We have acted out. A question keeps coming across the screen and I've ignored it like 3 times.
okay.
Therapy.
Okay.
Did you go to therapy? Why did you go to therapy?
I went to therapy when I was younger. That was definitely because I tore my ACL, lost my full identity because I heavily surrounded myself with soccer,
Absolutely.
and then my mom did not help. And I went to a few specialists, some
We spent some
psychiatrists.
time there together.
Yeah, we definitely did. And then Saint Spawn was like, you don't need to go to therapy anymore. You need to get off your medication. You don't have depression. It's all fake. You're just doing it to get attention. And
Yeah.
especially, I definitely went without therapy. It was after it was senior year of high school, and then freshman year of college was like my worst years with him.
Mm-hmm.
And it just
That was the worst years in the house. Fucking period. It was torture.
And I just went back into my depressive state. And then I got on medication secretly because he couldn't know that I was on medication, or he would have gotten mad or taken them or anything. And now after I went off of it, because it's really hard to go from that life to this life, because all I want to be now is normal. But there's not really a normal after leaving.
Well, no, I think there is a normal. I think because I'm suffering from this too.
Mm-hmm.
I think the problem is we made the abnormal normal for so long.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason we can laugh about it, because we were like, holy shit, we thought that was normal. You got to be fucking. I mean, I laugh about it a lot, and you do too. But we're having a hard time determining what is normal and what's not normal.
Mm-hmm.
What you know, it's this. It's a strange feeling.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to tell you that one of the best things for me is watching you grow. I recently came to visit you a few months ago, and it was the best thing to sit and watch you function as a fully functioning adult.
I know.
You cooked us dinner, and that again makes it all worth it to me, because I'm seeing you blossom. You know, it's kind of like you're rising from the ashes. You are becoming your version of you and not Satan's Spawn version of you. And I love that for you.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that.
And I do have to remind myself the wife that I want to be, not the wife that he wants me to be.
Oh, well, yeah. He wants you to be the Stepford wife like me.
Oh, but I do joke about that I am the Stepford wife, because I really am. I really am the Stepford wife, but I'm working now, so that's probably going to come to a quick end. My poor husband, he's going to be like, oh, I have to help with laundry?
You know that's going to fuck him up, because you're not a stay-at-home wife anymore,
love that
right?
man. I know.
It's going to mess him up. I'm going to ask you one more thing, because people think that DNA is a very important important part of like a child and parent love. Our love was not built on DNA.
No.
And I'm not going to say it was built on survival. I'm your mom and I love you unconditionally forever. But here's what I'm going to ask you. What is one characteristic or one trait that you think that you got from me and not your Satan spawn and whatever you want to call that one over there?
Empathy. I got a major empathy because through all of it, you always had empathy for any reason, especially when you had your rose-colored glasses on. You had a lot of empathy in those situations. I was like, girl, snap out of it. Don't have empathy. Remember that TikTok I reposted? Kill that man?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
We might get banned right there. You might have got us banned.
Oh, sorry. Don't do that.
Yeah, and I had someone recently tell me, I don't know how you manage to have as much empathy as you do, considering what you survived.
Yeah, and I think, well, honestly, you have so much empathy for people because you've been through the worst possible things in life.
I'm going to say, though, I do think my empathy sometimes kind of backfires on me because sometimes I give too much because I feel bad because I can relate. So that's a boundary that I'm working on.
Yeah.
So I want to do one more thing with you. So, Satan spawned through you smack dab in the middle of his fucking dating life. And just so people realize, her and I were living in the home while he was dating. And so his favorite thing to do would be to come strut them through the fucking house in front of us. And then he finally got where he was going out to date. And you and I were like, woo, we got a weekend. Thank fucking God, right? But
sometimes you didn't leave any money for us for the weekend.
Well, that's true. Sometimes
we had to fend for ourselves.
So we kind of had to fend for ourselves, but we did it. And your mom threw you in the middle of her dating life.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember? And now remind you, she's a grown ass woman right now, and I'm over here, hot, messy, single stepmom. What was the promise I made to you when and if I start dating?
You would never put me in the middle of it.
I would never involve you. You would not even know that I was dating someone until I knew that it was something that stuck. So let me ask you this question, my love. Am I dating?
No.
No. You wouldn't know if I was.
I wouldn't know. So no, that's what I think. No.
So to all you single mom and dads out there, my daughter is 21 and I am 59 and I will not involve her in my dating life. Quit fucking involving your young children in your dating life. It fucks them up. Mm-hmm. Stop. It's not okay.
Absolutely. And especially saying Spawn's dating life.
Yeah, because he would say some very sexual shit that shouldn't have been said to you.
He did not believe in TMI, I guess.
Well, hell, he thought it was funny.
And and also like what he did, especially with women and me, is over sexualize women too, to a point where he was also sexualizing me as a young girl. Yeah. And that had truly affected me too in my adult life.
And I don't know that I can forgive you for not coming to me with that, but then I think, what would I have done?
Nothing.
What would I have done? I can't do anything because I'm a step parent. Nobody looks at me as a parent. I would have lost you. It's a fucked up deal. What would you tell someone who's going through what you've been through right now? What is your best piece of advice for them?
To find the hope always, because at those lowest points of your life, you feel like there's literally no hope. I felt like I was never going to get out. Yeah. Like I was always going to be stuck there. My life would always be like this. Like I didn't think I was going to make it this far in life at that point in time. I was like, I didn't know where I was going to be. And just, you always have a way out. You just, if there's a front door, there's a back door. You can always find a way out.
You can. And speaking of getting out, you and I are going to we have a very special someone in our life that we want to say happy birthday to. And you know exactly who you are. And we recently found out that that person, if we would have picked up the phone, would have come.
Mm-hmm.
And that means more to us than that person can ever imagine. The problem is, and you had said several times, I thought about reaching out to that person, but you and I both knew it would just make things worse.
Yeah.
We were literally stranded on an island with some really nice fucking shit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we had that at least, but
We had some nice fucking
we
shit,
didn't.
but we were stranded on an island.
And so many people thought about my life. Just, you have all these nice things. Why aren't you happy? And I'm like, I would have rather been dirt poor and had 2 biological parents who loved me.
Well, fuck yes, you would have, but then you wouldn't have me.
True. So it all worked out in the end.
It all worked out in the end.
All the pain and suffering worked out in the end.
The universe put me there for a reason.
Absolutely.
And you are my reason. You're my why. You're my why we are sitting here on Unhinged today. I created that for you on a stack of cocktail napkins while drinking Grey Goose, babe.
You'd always send me pictures of them too.
I would.
Always.
So Derek says we have to wrap things up.
Okay.
I want to remind everybody again that if you would like to, I can't read that. Anybody who would like to help us out and sponsor the podcast, go to certifiedunhinged.com. You can go to partner with us, contact us, and we will be more than happy to talk to you about a sponsorship. And we would love for you to come and sponsor us. And
It says, I'm so happy that you watched this, and I'm glad you two made it out.
we love you. You know who you are. Can you see who that is?
Yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah, we love him too. So anybody that wants to help us out and sponsor us, and then there's also merchandise for sale. You know, the one I love is, go ahead.
Actually, funny story. I was wearing it the other day, and a construction worker was behind me. He said, "Unhinged," and it was so funny because I was wearing the crew neck, and he just said "Unhinged" and started laughing. I was like, "Oh, it's me and my mom's clothing brand."
People, when I wear mine, people go Unhinged. I go, that's me. My favorite is "It was just a fairy tale lie."
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, kid, you got caught up in that fairy tale lie too. But you and I are on to bigger and greater things. And you know, you are my biggest accomplishment in life. And I love you more than I think you'll ever know. And I would endure it all over again to raise you. And I would give all those pieces of my broken heart to fix yours every time it broke. But I just can't. Am I going to make you cry?
No, but yeah, I get a little sentimental.
Okay, because see, I don't realize that because I can't what?
You can't cry.
I can't cry.
You can't cry and I overcry.
Exactly. My brain says danger zone, quit. So I want to thank everybody who tuned in. And Lady, you want to come back?
Yes, of course.
There
will be another one of this.
It gives me another opportunity to see your pretty face.
Oh.
All right, baby, we're gonna log this thing. We're gonna close this thing off. I love you.
All right, I love you.
I'm super proud of you, and thank you for realizing that if you stayed silent, you were doing nothing but still doing him a favor by protecting him.
We're gonna beat him at his own game.
We won.
We did.
Checkmate.
Checkmate.
All right, kid. I love you.
I love you. Thank you.
Bye,
guys.
baby. I miss you.
Miss you.